Welcome back to your Health Facts. Today, we're going to be doing a deep dive into something that I think a lot of people struggle with, toenail fungus.
Yes.
And we're going to try to uncover some of the facts around this condition so that, we can equip ourselves with better knowledge and hopefully better health.
It's more complex than it seems.
Yeah.
It's not just a topical issue, it's a systemic issue.
Uh-huh.
And so just treating it topically, might get rid of some symptoms, but you're not getting at the root cause.
Right.
And also, some of the medications for toenail fungus have some pretty bad side effects, like liver damage.
Wow.
So it's really important to consider alternatives that can support the body's own defenses.
So one of the things that I thought was interesting is this fungus that is responsible for toenail infections can also cause other skin problems.
Right.
Things like athlete's foot, jock itch, even scalp infections.
Yep.
Basically, this fungus thrives on protein. And unfortunately, our toenails are pure protein, which makes them a prime target.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably why some of these topical creams don't really work, because they can't penetrate deep enough
Right.
to get to the fungus that's embedded in the nail.
Yeah, this fungus is really good at evading our immune system.
Mm-hmm.
It grows slowly so that we don't really detect it. It can even suppress T cells, which are some of the main cells in our immune system.
Interesting.
And probably most remarkably, it can go into a dormant state.
Wow.
So it can hide out for years and then reappear when conditions are favorable.
Oh, wow.
And, a lot of people think about UV treatments, but this fungus is also very resistant to UV radiation.
So what kind of things can reactivate this dormant fungus?
Well, weakened immune system is a big one,
Oh.
and that can be caused by, stress, diabetes, being overweight, or even antibiotic use.
Right.
And then the other big one is a vitamin D deficiency.
Okay.
Vitamin D is really important for our immune system, and this particular fungus can even impair our ability to utilize vitamin D. So, given how resilient this fungus is and how it sort of interacts with our immune system, it really makes sense to think about boosting our immune defenses.
Yeah.
And one promising approach is actually high-dose vitamin D3 supplementation.
Okay.
So we're talking like at least 25,000 IU daily.
Wow.
And that can really help to strengthen the immune system and maybe even push that fungus back into dormancy.
Interesting.
There's even some interesting evidence suggesting that liquid vitamin D applied topically could be helpful as well.
So beyond vitamin D, is there anything else that can help us fight this fungus?
Well, there's another powerful antifungal agent
Okay.
called zinc parathione.
Zinc pyrithione.
Yeah, it's a lesser-known form of zinc,
Okay.
but it's really, really effective against fungus.
Interesting.
So you might want to look for creams or soaps that contain this ingredient.
So it sounds like we need to kind of create an environment that's not very hospitable to this fungus.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not just about addressing the internal imbalances, but also the external environment.
So things like choosing breathable shoes, changing your socks frequently, and making sure that you wash both your shoes and your socks thoroughly can make a big difference.
And that will help to keep our feet dry, which the fungus doesn't like.
Exactly. So it's really a two-pronged approach. You're hitting it from the inside and the outside.
Right.
And that's how you're really going to be able to effectively manage toenail fungus.
So I think it's important to remember that everyone is different.
Yeah.
And what works for one person may not work for another.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're dealing with persistent toenail fungus, it's always a good idea to talk to your doctor
Absolutely.
or healthcare professional to figure out the best course of action for you. We hope this deep dive into the world of toenail fungus has given you some valuable insights
Yeah.
and empowered you to take some proactive steps towards better foot health.
Knowledge is power.
Yes.
And by understanding the complexities of this fungus and how it grows, we can make better decisions about how to prevent it and how to treat it. And for more in-depth information on all sorts of different health topics,
Yes.
be sure to subscribe to yourhealthfacts.com. Hopefully this deep dive has given you a new perspective on toenail fungus. It's not just about how it looks. It's often a sign of something else going on in the body.
Yeah, and I think by understanding how resilient this fungus is and what makes it grow,
Right.
we can really start to take some steps to address it.
Yeah.
So keeping that immune system strong and making sure that the environment isn't good for the fungus to grow, those are really important things.
Yeah, and if you're dealing with this, it can be really persistent. But just remember that knowledge is power.
Absolutely. And you can find a ton of information on all sorts of health topics at yourhealthfacts.com.
So be sure to subscribe if you want to learn more.